the way we take our power back is by imagining a better way. That everything starts there, and I don't even know what the perfect society looks like, if it ever exists, but I know for sure that there is something better than what we're doing now.
Mhm.
And I can
Yeah.
imagine my heaven on earth. My heaven on earth is being with my loved ones and my friends and family, and making music and discovering more about ourselves, like all this stuff that doesn't require any money. That's what we need to do. We need to start imagining it, and then, like, acting like that version. How would
Mhm.
that person act, and what would it say, and what would it wear, and how would it treat the earth, all these type of things. And we've just got to start imagining it, because then other people start imagining it, and then we meet each other, and now we're able to actually create something in the physical reality. And the
Mhm.
truth is like, mystics really believe that everything is a mirror. And so as I heal, the universe heals. As I think of better ways, the populace of humanity goes to work creating that.
Welcome to the Bridge Podcast, a podcast featuring heart centered leaders, artists, healers, speakers, and creatives who are leading a new paradigm through their own personal embodiment. Join us to explore the evolution of humanity that we see happening on our planet, and how the intersection of art and humanity may be the key to having a new experience on Earth, as we individually and collectively choose to align with a greater peace, unity, harmony, and unconditional love in our everyday lives. Together, we will explore inspiring, insightful, and healing conversations that tap us into the artist within, empower us to be the conscious creators of our reality, and amplify the world we want to see by coming home to our own divinity. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Bridge Podcast. I am so excited to share this one with you today. I truly love this episode. It was such a gift to sit down with Banks and have this conversation. I genuinely feel such a lightness when I see his content come up on my feed, and I just really enjoy listening to him and exploring these universal topics: healing, love, light, energy, power, mysticism. It's very insightful, and honestly, this conversation was healing for me. So I hope it brings you joy. I hope it inspires you, and maybe even brings you some clarity on your own path of exploring spirituality, exploring healing yourself, exploring growing and stepping into more authenticity and becoming who you want to be. In this episode, we talk about universal energetics, mysticism and quantum healing, the white picket fence lifestyle, and how his life, quote unquote, falling apart was the path to true fulfillment, near-death experience and awakening, the point of suffering, how embracing the unknown is necessary, becoming an example of how life can be when you heal, imagination as a way to access your creative power and infinite potential, returning to what you loved as a child and how your childhood joy holds the keys to your freedom, how loving your neighbor helps heal the world, allowing yourself to change and experience more excitement and delight, embracing all aspects of yourself instead of judging your true nature, seeing yourself as a unique expression of Source, clearing resistance to make space for new creation, and how the world is craving your authenticity. We also discuss the paradoxical nature of existence and seeing God in all things, transforming the experience of darkness, free will as the ultimate act of love, how contrast is your friend, joy as the anchor, how love uplifts us, and living from the inside out. Optimystic Banks is a mystic rapper, philosopher, and psychic guide who blends music, spirituality, and deep wisdom into transformative experiences. Through his art, private mystic activation sessions, and mentorship, he helps others awaken their inner magic, explore altered states of consciousness, and align with the language of the universe. If any and all of that excites you, this will be a great episode. I hope you enjoy it. Let's dive in. Welcome, Banks, to the Bridge Podcast. I honestly could not be more excited to be sitting down with you today. I've been following you for a little while on Instagram, and I just know that every single time I see a post of yours, I not only feel joy and inspiration, but I feel clarity. I feel this reflection of divinity, and you just have such an authentic and powerful and cool and artistic way of sharing your unique experience and divine mission on this planet. So I'm so honored to have you here to share about your journey, to talk all things universe and magic. So welcome, first and
Thank you
foremost.
so much. What an intro. Thank you so much. I so appreciate being here.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's going to be so fun. I know it. And to start us off, I would love for you to just introduce yourself to everyone who doesn't know you and tell us a little bit about your journey, your story. Where did you kind of start and how did you get to where you are today? Give us a Coles Notes or go as deep as you want to.
Sure, sure. So, yeah, so my name's Banks. I go by Optimistic Banks online. It's like my professional name. I am a mystic and a conscious rapper. I do a lot of energy work, quantum field energy reading. I do tarot card reading and that kind of stuff, alchemy. And really, this all started for me at the age of 33 after I had a near death experience on DMT 5-MeO, which is the venom of a toad, a very powerful psychedelic. And it coincided with a time in my life where everything was falling apart. So it's kind of like during the beginning of COVID. I was in the corporate sales world. I was a sales guru, ironically,
Mhm.
and I was making really good money. I was with a woman who was a doctor. I was with her since like we were together like 15 years. I had the house at the end of the cul-de-sac with the white picket fence. Everything was like what society would kind of call like it was perfect.
Mhm.
And inside, I felt very empty. And I turned to drugs to fill that happiness and got addicted. And basically, everything in my life fell apart. And right at that moment, losing the job, losing the girl, losing the house, losing my mind, I had a friend of mine who worked for me, who, for whatever reason, I just really trusted. And I felt like he was really magical. And I was like, I don't know what's happening in my life, but like, I need something. I don't know. And he's like, I think you need a reset. And so he offered to come and do like a shamanistic kind of thing for me. Again, I was not spiritual, I didn't do any research on what was going to happen. I was just kind of so messed up at the time that anything was something that I could, I needed something. So did the 5-MeO, had a near death experience on it, had an experience where I experienced myself dying, my ego being totally ripped from me crossing over into uh the everything and the nothing, becoming everything and nothing, having like a primordial understanding of things, but didn't really have a reference of what it all meant, which is why I think like I made the choice to come back so I could kind of gain the perspective and the experience to kind of understand what that all means.
Yeah.
And it was definitely kind of like an acclimation period after that. For I would say like a good year after that, I was still
Mm.
really not grounded in any reality. I was tapped into crazy things and different dimensions and just kind of seeing the connectivity between things that no one else could see. And it did take a while to kind of acclimate. It was almost like I gained this insight, but my mind was having to kind of like slowly acclimate it into me in
Mhm.
ways that made sense for me. And then, yeah, and then I started basically like kind of like in the dark night of the soul where I was very depressed and was like asking God, the universe, what's the point of this? What's the point of this suffering? Like, why is this allowed to be had? And the universe did not disappoint. It started kind of revealing things to me. As I started awakening, I was kind of going through maybe like psychosis
Mhm.
and more mental stuff. And ever since then, that was like the outside validation. So imagine thinking you're losing your mind. I'm sure you have before. A lot
Yep.
of people who are going to watch this are going to have you're losing your mind,
Yeah.
you're losing your mind, you're thinking you're fucking really losing a grip on reality, you're disappearing. And then you have this experience where you get an outside validation from someone of what you've experienced. And it's like, okay, whoa, there's a mission. There's
Mhm.
a purpose. There is some wild stuff going on, and I'm very curious. So
Mm.
I just love exploring all of it, and I'm not afraid of
Yeah.
any of it.
Love that. That's a quote. We got to quote you.
Yeah.
That's really powerful. And I agree. We need each other. We need the reflections. Otherwise, we would just
Absolutely.
be lost,
It's
really.
hard to see ourselves when we're really close to it. We need other
Hmm.
people to observe us and tell us what they see in us, especially if they're a kind-hearted, compassionate, person who's seeing in you the realness, not a reflection of their
Yeah.
wounding and shit like that, right? When I woke up, I had this profound understanding that everything was connected and that there was nothing for anything to be made out of other than God.
Mm.
And I wanted to understand that. And I knew that I wouldn't be able to find the answers I was looking for through religious texts and other things like that. So for me, I went to like the basic understandings of like what I can observe in nature, which started with like numerology, then
Mhm.
like what do colors mean, what do shapes mean, why are they these shapes, and kind of everything just kind of started connecting from numerology to colors to shapes to sound to frequency, holographic universe theories, hermeticism, and it's just the way that I kind of view the world now is kind of more from the inside out rather than the outside in.
Mhm.
And it's very magical that way.
Completely. Oh, there's so many things I want to say. Yes. So I'm curious, when living from the inside out, for someone who maybe doesn't know what that means or is curious what that could mean for them, for me, I just want to say my spiritual awakening spanned several years and just a lot of different seasons. And I hit this point in kind of 2021 where I had to finally bring all that into my body, like all the way down to the root. I had to integrate this new reality instead of holding what I knew in my mind and living in a different way, which really was just fear. I was connecting to love and then I was living within fear because I was still disconnected from the people around me when it came to these higher concepts. And so I had to bring all that into the body. And then as I've done that and continue to do that, because life's always evolving, I get to be that unique divine expression, fully knowing who I am, right? Fully knowing that I am an extension of this universe, but I have an individual expression of that divinity, and whatever I tap into inside and become now gets to be my experience of the world. So that's my
Yes.
little taste, but I'd love to hear your kind of description of that or your experience of that now. What's changed for you?
Well, now that I know that nothing is what it seems, and that's kind of like the nature of reality. It's perfectly synchronized, but it's unpredictable, which
Mm,
is the the gift that we've been given because everything manifests from an infinite field of potential.
yeah.
So it can seem random, it can seem chaotic when we forget that. When we
Yeah.
forget that everything is manifesting from an infinite realm of potential, and that is you. You are a manifestation, an awareness that can see and smell and taste and touch the creation, and everything stems from that same source. So having that understanding about it and that the unpredictable nature of it is what makes it fun.
Hmm.
And it also is what gives us complete free will, which is the ultimate act of love. And so now
Hmm.
understanding that, like, even suffering and the evil and the negative things, it's just a warped it's a warped reflection of duality, and duality is what gives things form.
Hmm.
And so from that perspective, I'm now kind of like I went outside the matrix and then was like, okay, now I want to go back into to help people. So
Hmm.
now it's like now I'm playing a game. Now it's not like life is happening to me. It's like, oh yeah, I'm making the game. I am the one imagining and the imagination, and I can kind of perspectively, consciously be in first person or be in third person and kind of play the game prospectively like that. And when you become
Hmm.
aware on these higher levels of how things operate, then you love yourself more because you're amazed at how amazing everything is, and that's you. Then you start having compassion for everyone else, and there's no longer this thing of like when someone disrespects me that I have to be pulled down to their level of wounding, because now I'm healed. And now I can
Hmm.
just hold space for their wounding and become an example of how life can be when you heal, instead of trying to
Hmm.
force my stuff on the universe. And I really see now that when you start creating your reality, and that creates happiness, creates self love, and creates new visions of the future that didn't exist before because you didn't know they existed because you weren't creating. And
In
so the
short.
creative power, the creative power is the most powerful force you can have, and it's scary. Most people it requires courage because you have to go into the unknown
Hmm.
because no one's been there before because you're the one that's supposed to go there.
Yeah, in your own unique way, you're the only
Hmm.
one. It's
Yeah,
reminds me of that phrase related to things that we desire, things we're inspired by. It's you're the only one that can bring that timeline to life, that unique expression because no one else sees it exactly the way you do, which is so fun
it is fun and also scary, which is
and
why we
scary.
know that the unknown, that scary feeling, is like
Mhm.
a necessary part of the experience.
Right, and normalize.
Because we're not afraid of what the unknown is. We know what it is. It's unknown. We're afraid of what our mind makes up about what it could be, right?
Right, but it's
So it's
always
like
distorted.
exactly. It's like if you saw
Mhm.
the monster at the beginning of the movie with all the lights on, there'd be
Yeah.
no tension, there'd be no excitement, there'd be no fun.
Right. Yeah, it's wow. And we are creators, period. And a lot of what you were talking about, I realized that I've been really going through this shift in my life, and it's like a fundamental cellular shift. It seemed maybe some people this is like easy for them, but for me it's been so challenging. And it's that shift from feeling like I had to control everything and I had to help everyone else understand and heal and see things the way that I did. And over
Yes.
time, those layers were falling off. But then, even just recently, this summer, it's like with family, especially, I don't have to, not that I have to fix them ever, but I don't have to even address this issue or this wound and feel like I'm the one that has to bring it to light. I can just
Yes.
be the light and be the love, and it will
Yes. And
change. And that's not my business.
observe
Hmm.
them, even in all their issues,
Yeah,
with awe,
with
because
awe.
they are God
Yeah,
doing another unique experience, even if they don't realize it.
totally.
You do.
Yeah.
So you got to be the one that's like, I got nothing to prove. I got nothing to say. I'm just here holding space for this experience.
Yeah, and what a gift it is for us to give that to others when we just see them as like pure creation, unconditional love, God and drag, having an experience, and
Yeah.
we can play more. It's that three energy, right? It's be more playful, more bring more sense of humor into things. Of course, there's a moment for the depth and for things to feel like
Hmm.
the suffering or the seriousness. We go through that, but going through that also showed me that it's an illusion. It felt very real the whole
Yes.
time. It was horrifying, but now that I've connected to my true nature, I know that that experience is of an illusion of separation to what you are because our resistance to what we are, which is from programming, right? So
Yes.
crazy journey to wake up to, but then it becomes so fun.
Because then, so like, first we become aware of it and we're like, oh, the illusion of separation, it's an illusion. But to
Mhm.
create something, you must let go of it, right? Which is
Yeah,
why the illusion is necessary.
right,
And then then you step into the role of being that, not just the piece that broke off, but the piece that's creating pieces that break off, right?
right.
And like, now you're in the flow of what you came here to do.
Yeah, it feels so different to be in that space of, wow, I can actually choose myself. I can do things that I enjoy. I'm finally free to do that, and that's not going to
Yes.
hurt anybody else. Like we're so used to codependence, right?
Yeah. Oh
And
my God,
just the
yes.
way that fear has us, like whipped.
Well, and that's why I always tell people, like, when I do my one-on-one sessions with people, usually what it comes down to is that they're not creatively expressing themselves.
Yes.
And some people are like, wait, how could that possibly have anything to do with what I'm going through? And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, because when you're not creating your life, creating a reason to wake up every day, creating visions, then life is
Mm.
happening to you, and then you become more opportunistic, and you become more people can take advantage of you easier because you're
Mhm.
like, oh, I need this person or this thing to make me whole, so I'm going to change myself to fit so I can have this thing, rather
Mhm.
than realizing you already are whole, creating a life. And then when things come into your life that maybe don't resonate, you're like, okay, that doesn't resonate, moving on. I'm not
Yeah.
desperate for that. I don't need that in my life. Everything I
Yeah.
need, I create.
Yeah.
Anything I want on top of that is a bonus.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to allow in the negative shit.
Period. And
Yeah.
so I would love for you to share, because I know in your work you value what I do is getting to the root of things. It's the only way. And so
Yes.
what's an example of that? Like if somebody is not accessing their creative expression, they're afraid, they have trauma, they don't feel safe to, how would you maybe talk about how can someone start to get to the energetic root of something to actually return to their natural creative self?
Well, it's really about getting back to the simplest things, the things that like don't require money, don't require anything, like just the process of doing it makes you happy. There's no goal.
Mm,
Music and dance is a great example. It's like, if getting to the end of the song was the goal, then the fastest piano player would be the best, right? But it's not.
mhm,
It's about the being in the now, being in the moment, right?
mhm,
And if someone's having trouble as far as kind of like figuring out what that is because they've abandoned themselves, um,
mhm,
then you really need to like kind of go back to your childhood
mhm,
because there's always breadcrumbs that have been left for us. And there, it might look a little bit different, but the energy is the same. Maybe you did a performance when you were younger. Maybe you taught somebody when you were younger. Maybe somebody gave you a compass or something and you were amazed by how it moved with invisible forces. There's certain kind of like checkpoints that have been left for us throughout our life, and if you still have a block with that, then I would seriously recommend doing things like watching cartoons that you watched when you were growing up, and
mm,
reading comic books, like the simple things, because the inner child has been abandoned, and it's obvious that it's been abandoned, even in the fact that the physical manifestation of that is the abandonment of actual children, the abuse
yeah,
of actual children, right? And to alleviate that, we actually need to uh, awaken and nurture and love the child within, and we do that by letting it fly. You know what I mean? It's like a little baby
yeah,
angel inside of you with wings, and you got to let
yeah,
it out.
yeah,
And so going back to the basics of like the simplest things that made you happy as a kid, and then like why did that make you happy, and then just start kind of like create anything because you don't know where it's going to lead you. When I
mhm,
first started this journey, I mean, music has always been a part of my life, even though I did abandon it for like a decade. But it was kind of easy for me to be like, oh, yeah, music, that's my thing. That's what I love doing. But when I started this spiritual journey, I started out with doing a lot of podcasting. And
mhm,
if I had been like kind of stubborn and only stuck with that, I would have never discovered what I'm doing now. Which is
mhm,
like more one-on-one work, more energy work, doing work with like businesses, not like I'm a celebrity podcaster who knows some things. And it's like, so my point is just like I'm happy with where I'm at now. And if I hadn't have started creating, I would have never had the vision of where I'm at now. And if I
mhm,
had been stubborn to only create one thing and never change, I would have never discovered what I'm doing now. So it's
yeah,
like, have fun, discover, change. You don't have to there's no obligation to do the same thing we were doing 5 seconds ago, but you
yeah,
have to start creating something because it does create new visions, new opportunities, people that resonate with you. You literally create your tribe by
mhm.
expressing yourself through your creative expressions.
So true. And we do change so much. That's something that I've always experienced is that I resonate with so many different things and people. It's that five energy. I'm like, I don't do something different now. And
Yes.
I love that. I used to think that was a problem and I had to pick one thing and I was so like caught up in tumultuous suffering around it. And really
Mm.
now I even still say to my mom, I'm like, no, 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 I'm gonna do all 10 things today and I'm gonna immerse myself in every single one of them and I'm gonna thrive. Like I gotta do it all. Uh,
Yeah.
I think of Jennifer Lopez and like how she does everything, and it's like I
Mhm.
can do whatever I want. I just have to align
There's
myself
no
with
rules
those
for
things.
anything. We've just been
Exactly.
conditioned by society
Yeah.
to get a job, go to school, or go to school, get a job, make money, acquire things that you already have,
Yeah.
just different versions of them. Like you already, you know what I mean? Like you buy
Right.
a house, you grew up in a house. It's just a different version of the same thing. A car, a different
Hmm.
version of the same thing. It's just like, new clothes, different versions of the same thing. It's all an
Hmm.
illusion. And then we're like, we make money so that we can go to the job, so that we can pay our bills, so that we can make money to go to the job to pay our bills. And it's this fucking loop. And we're all waking up and we're all realizing like, I don't
No.
have to become, like a forest dwelling monk. I can if I want
Mm.
to. That's like
Hmm.
the ultimate way to break out of the matrix. But like, I also don't have to do it how everybody else did it. And the ironic thing about it is that the universe is begging us to
Hmm.
do things differently.
Yeah.
It's literally, that's the fractal nature of things, is that you take the foundation that exists and then you make an alteration to it.
Yeah.
And the universe supports you when you do that.
That's so true. I think probably a lot of people would say, "What?" Like, I don't feel like the universe supports that, but it's not the universe that feels that way. It's programming and your fear and your
Yes.
parents and society, right? And I was gonna say that when we create, when we follow that inspiration, it's helping, like you said, it's helping us step into new visions, new potentials. It's we're becoming a future version of ourselves in the process, and we get to have a lot of fun. Like, what if the question that we lived by was just, "Does this excite me today?" Like, am I
Yes.
excited by this? And there was less of a story that was so dense that we felt like we
I'll
were
tell you this
obligated
much.
to.
There's never been anybody on their deathbed that says, I just wish I had created less.
And so true, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, nah, like, just there's no,
Never.
we come here to experience like the illusion of the risk, because there actually
Mhm.
is no risk.
Yeah.
So it's like there's kind of like no fun being the source of everything, because there's no risk. So we
Yeah.
come here to experience this illusion of risk, but it's an illusion. We never
Hmm.
die. We're infinite beings pretending that we're finite, you know?
It's
And
so fun to take those leaps.
all the lessons in life are just the same lesson as the physical death, which is to let go. Let go,
Hmm.
let go, let go. Stop holding on to shit. Let go, let go.
And you feel completely reborn every time you do. So I love it. I wanted to, this might be a good moment to ask you about mysticism and just describe to us what mysticism is, if anyone doesn't know, because I love
Yeah, I
it.
mean, like, yeah, so I guess, mysticism it's kind of like, I would say, kind of like the foundation of like all magical practices.
Hmm.
And it's like, a mystic typically doesn't adhere to any one modality, and we like to explore all of them,
Hmm.
and we see the connections in all of them. And I've done everything from plant magic, spell work, quantum field energy reading, astral traveling, shaman work. Any modality that I have dipped into works. And
Hmm.
so with that, kind of gives you a grand understanding of how everything is connected and how everything's pretty much being projected from you.
Hmm.
And this is then you start realizing that, like, throughout time and history, the mystics have left us messages. And it's like, if you go and look at the messages, it's almost like you believe in them, but you don't know them. But if you kind of intuitively on your own, come up with these same realizations, and then you discover them in history, then you're like, whoa. So we're
Hmm.
like, we're a part of like this kind of club, this kind of secret club.
Hmm.
And we also, as a mystic, you can't really just be like, you're God and everything is God. You can't just like be like that to everyone, because not everybody's ready to receive that message. So
Yeah.
typically what mystics have done, as alchemists, as artists, as scientists, is that we have hidden the messages in the art. We hide it in the songs. We hide it even within verses. We hide it, you have to peel back a layer of the paint to see what it really is. Leonardo da
Hmm.
Vinci, all these type of things, and it's the same message. It's pretty much what the mystic's job is to plant seeds, and not ever sit under the shade of the tree. Just planting seeds and part of the universe. I kind of look at it too that, like, I'm not a servant of God. I am a steward of God,
Hmm.
which we all are, but we have to go through these different kind of realizations, whether
Hmm.
you're a son of God, a student of God, a servant of God. It's kind of all realizations of the same thing. And then you
Hmm.
finally realize, like, oh no, like, I am God incarnate. This is what Jesus realized. I have to start acting like it, right? So,
Yeah, I have to start acting like it.
yeah.
Exactly. No, it's so, so beautiful. It's one of my favorite things about, and what makes the whole journey worth it is where I am now, the way that I see life in this world, no matter who it is or the different expressions, my default is curiosity and awe and compassion and love. And I'm inspired. It's like, wow, we're on this planet with infinite expressions and
Yes.
experiences, and there's no right or wrong. And what a different world we'd live in if we all understood that and embraced that. But also, I understand it's not as simple as flipping a switch, but you can flip the switch and then everyone starts to go on that journey. And I think that's what's happening to humanity, right? So,
Absolutely. It's all perfectly set up for us to create this new earth, It's real.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what is, I mean, we're obviously this whole conversation is about how we can become the bridge to a new earth, a new experience. But what would you say is one or a few of the main things that you would say are the most important just in your daily experience or choices or embodiment for actually creating and becoming that new example?
Imagination.
I love that.
You see that the let's say the dark forces, which are perfectly placed here and are still God, but that the dark forces, they are, let's say, brainwashing us to make us believe a certain thing so that we can manifest a reality that they prefer. And
Mm-hmm.
so the way we take our power back is by imagining a better way. That everything starts there, and I don't even know what the perfect society looks like, if it ever exists, but I know for sure that there is something better than what we're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
And I can
Yeah.
imagine my heaven on earth.
Yes.
And my heaven on earth is being with my loved ones and my friends and family, and making music, and discovering more about ourselves, like all this stuff that doesn't require any money. And so that's what we need to do. We need to start imagining it, and then, like, acting like that version. How would
Mm-hmm.
that person act, and what would it say, and what would it wear, and how would it treat the earth, and how would it, all these type of things. And we've just got to start imagining it, because then other people start imagining it, and then we meet each other, and now we're able to actually create something in the physical reality. And the
Mm-hmm.
truth is like, mystics really believe that everything is a mirror. And so as I heal, the universe heals. As I think of better ways, the populace of humanity goes to work creating that.
Mm-hmm. It's true. I mean, I've had my moments where I'm like, oh, is this real or is this just trying to sabotage my own experience of life when it comes to everything's a mirror? But then I'm like, well, look back to the proof of 10 plus years of my experience consciously and still every single day that if I look at it like a mirror and I find the opportunity for expansion, for regulation, for joy for myself, if I change my inner experience, then the outside matches that in one way
Yes.
or the other. So it is real, whether you want to
Yes.
accept it or not.
Oh yeah,
You
well,
might
that's
as
the
well
whole
become
thing.
conscious.
That's the thing about accepting duality and the non-dual nature of source, is that it's both.
Hmm.
It's real and it is an illusion.
Yeah.
There's this paradoxical nature to existence, and
Yeah.
we can fight it all we want. We can do research on the illusion and try to understand the illusion more, or we can just be ourselves and enjoy the illusion.
Which is ironically going to help you understand it more.
Yes. There's the
Yeah.
paradox again. Yep.
Yeah. So good. There was something else that I thought of too, but it might have floated away. Oh, no. When you said something about how we're being brainwashed to basically create a reality that they prefer, and I just immediately thought, how many people are doing that in their day-to-day personally with the people around them, not even
Yeah.
realizing they're doing it though.
Yeah, that's the
And,
that's the truth, is that
right?
you're so powerful that whatever you believe manifests. So if you believe that you're not powerful, that's what will manifest, right?
Yeah, you'll have that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that was really interesting because if especially when people are so focused on the outside and these different narratives, I'm like, well, what part of you is doing that right now in your life? Because I promise you, if you change that, you're not going to give an F about any of that anymore, and you're going to
Yep.
see it differently, and you're going to create a new way. So just,
Exactly. It's like, if it triggers you, that means there's something you need to heal.
yeah.
And what people don't realize is they have this block where they think, okay, but if I heal, it doesn't mean that they'll change.
Mm-hmm.
But that's actually not true.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if Donald Trump triggers you, believe it or not,
Yep.
whatever it is that's triggering you, if you heal that,
Mm-hmm.
the projection of him that you're creating will change.
Yep.
Your
And
timeline will change.
that's the crazy thing is that there's infinite versions of yourself that people are going to perceive. It has nothing to do with you. It's taken me
Yep.
so long to get there. And I think the answer is really when you truly embody your authenticity, which is just between you and source. And of course, the world is co-creating that with you, giving you things to respond to and like feed off of. But when
Yeah.
you embody that authenticity, you realize that it doesn't matter how people perceive you, and it's most of the time not accurate anyways. So
Yep. And
just
that's
be,
the, if we were going to be the most authentic, like we would be source, which would be essentially nothing.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
it's like, so then we come back full circle and we're like, okay, so now I don't need to kill the ego. I need to
Mm-hmm.
nurture it. My
Mm-hmm.
personality, my individuality is a unique expression of source. But I
Mm-hmm.
just need to refine it a little bit. There's some
Yeah.
things I've picked up along the way that maybe aren't what I really want to be expressing, and I need to shed those things about me. Like I used to be like the biggest, kind of class clown kind of type. And after I woke, I was just like, there's no point of like, I want to channel that funny, entertaining, charismatic energy into
Mm-hmm.
something that helps people, even though making people laugh is great, but like sometimes I would hurt people, just
Mm,
because I let my ego kind of just like say the funny things without thinking about it,
yeah.
and it's like, so yeah, I made a conscious decision after I woke up that like, I'm going to reel that in. And I'm still funny. I still enjoy being funny, but like I'm just much more careful about it. And
Mm-hmm.
just I more channel that now into more kind of ways of helping people more with the charismatic energy rather than poking fun at things. Because the truth is like once you become awakened and a mystic, like you can't really have strong opinions about things
So
because
true.
you realize how
So true.
ridiculous it is.
I
It's
know.
it's so ridiculous. It's like, okay, you're you. I love you.
Because
Like I don't got
opinions are
any opinions
really,
about it.
yeah, the opinions really just confirming your own reality that makes you feel comfortable and safe when you realize that you can't control everything and you're just here to enjoy yourself.
And everybody's
And
creating their own reality. So who the fuck am I to tell
exactly.
them that their reality isn't real? It's they're making it. Like
I would rather be so in alignment with my own intentional creation that I inspire others to want to create something different if they want to, right? Exactly.
exactly. You just become a
Um,
beacon, an example.
Yes. And what a journey that has been. Sounds so easy. Sounds so easy. But no, it's been a massive journey to get to this place. And I'm still practicing it every single day, right? And it's of
Yeah.
course easier and more natural around people who get it and are also doing that because then you're like, "Oh yeah, duh, this is what I'm doing." And then when we're in different kind of spaces with different mirrors, sometimes we get caught up in stuff that we're like, "This is not what I want." But that's also the challenge is
That's
in that
also a challenge.
space,
Oh,
what do you
and being,
choose?
we're only here to witness, let's say, the negative stuff, so that we can decide that I prefer not to experience that. Right? It's like
Yeah.
you have to experience the stuff you don't like to know what you do like, and
Contrast. Yeah.
yeah, contrast and just
Yeah.
again, like a lot of empaths have like a really hard time, especially after awakening of like going to public places with all the toxicity and everybody projecting all their shit onto each other. It's a very real thing because you become aware of it and you're like, oh my God, I can see exactly what this person's problem is and this person, oh my God. And you feel it all and you're like, oh God, I can't do this. I have to escape. And that is true and that does happen. But like for me, I've always had this kind of ability to kind of just sink back into my child self and just be like, ah,
Hmm.
just, oh, it's okay. People have problems. Okay, whatever. I don't have to fix everybody's problems.
Yeah. Well, for me, the more I used to feel that way too, but it was more just fear of being so sensitive and not knowing how to ground myself in reality or in what I preferred because
Yeah,
I was so at bay of maybe my parents or different things that I felt like were normal. And now it's when joy is the anchor, I truly witness everything from such a space of joy. And there may be things that I'm like, that feels interesting or I don't really resonate with that, but I know that I I can just carry on and it doesn't have to come into my
to your
experience
field. Yeah, and
directly.
you don't have to absorb it.
Yeah.
You can kind of witness it and let it go, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think when a lot of us, because of how we were raised and everything, like a lot of people have like this fear of like negative energy, demonic energy, and like all that kind of stuff. And it's all basically it is your demons, it's your negative energy, and the only way to kind of alleviate that is to face it and
Mhm.
to to ask them their names metaphorically and these kind of things, and just that Every time you face a fear, you really do get like an upgrade and like a new level of understanding of things, and you don't have to
Mhm.
experience that fear again, you know?
So true. It's so powerful. It changes your entire experience of reality every time. Years ago, I was learning the same things, but it was not easy to apply that. It was not easy to actually integrate that because it can run so deep why different themes are there, why traumas are there from other lifetimes, whatever. Like it's just in the body until, like you said, you face it. And when you face it, like we mentioned, Donald Trump or anybody else who triggers you, it's not that you're saying, oh, I agree with this behavior. I prefer it. I want more of that in the world. It's how do I come to acceptance of whatever frequency this represents and why it's expressing that way from a place of
Yes.
true compassion, from the core of creation. Because when you're okay with something, again, not agreeing with it, but okay with it, it actually has to change. It's the laws of the universe because you're no longer
Yes.
resisting it. So it goes for yourself, for anybody else. And when you really truly look at something, no matter how dark it is, it's actually not as scary as you think. The mind just doesn't know what the F is going on, but it's
Yep.
not as scary as you think. I think we just have a lack of, or have had a lack of understanding as to how energy works, how emotion works, how creation works. And so then we're scared of this thing that seems manifest. But when you look at it and you just ask it, what are you afraid of? Or what do you want to show me? And you truly bring
Yes.
it in with love and wholeness, then everything actually changes
It
completely.
changes, it dissolves. I mean, like I do a lot of meditative work and I go to different dimensions. I see weird creatures, and it used to scare me. And
Yeah.
my brother was the one who was like, "No, no, no, don't open your eyes when that happens," because like they will literally scare you. They'll literally be like, "Blah!" And like you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh," and like you have to like open up your eyes and stuff like that. And he was like, my brother was like, "No, no, no, don't. When that happens, face them and literally
Yeah.
be like, 'What's up, buddy? Like, who are you? What's your name? What are you doing here? I love you.'" And most of the time, they kind of just like laugh and they disappear.
Yeah. They disappear
They're
because
not even
with
like a
love.
truly formed construct yet, you know? They're just
Yeah.
a little inkling of a thought of fear, you know? And they'll
Hmm.
manifest in any fun, strange way that makes sense to you, basically.
It's so true. It I love to just bring that back to the ice sculpture conversation where everything's water, it's just in a different form and
Yeah.
the consciousness level something is at, like say fear, it can only express at fear. It can't get itself out of fear. Something higher has to bring it out of fear, which is why love needs to be the one pulling us out of different experiences. So
I love that.
just it's such a it's so profoundly simple, but in practice, it requires practice. It requires
Discipline.
surrender, all the
Yep.
things, discipline, yeah,
Yep.
and faith, so much faith. Support, of course, feeling safe enough to do that if you've never felt safe and your environment continues to remind you of certain things that are dysregulating, well, then you might have to change some things, try some things on, get support, etc. But there's always a way. And I love that you brought that up because it's so true. Any dark expression that's ever come through in a meditation or healing or anything for me, if I truly meet it and interact with it, it's like going through a portal of just
Yes.
crystalline healing and energy and purification. And then
Whew.
I come out,
I got
like,
the chills right now when you said
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I come out purified, like a different version of me, less fear, more authentic, more
And that will carry
divine.
over to your physical life experience, right? So
Yeah.
that's what's so cool about meditative realms and dream realms. It's like almost like a safe simulation kind of place to
Yeah.
to face these things, and then you'll realize in life that like less things happen that you need to face because you've already expressed that in the meditation or in the vision or in
Hmm.
the dream. And then when things happen that you do need to face, you'll just do it because you've like
Yeah.
had practice, kind of,
Yeah,
right?
you know,
Yeah.
that's the way to go about it. I don't know. Where do we want to take the convo now? It's such a deep note. This is going to be like the easiest podcast to edit. I feel like there's nothing that I've needed to edit until now.
Excellent.
I'll edit this out, but
Be
uh
authentic, that's what matters.
yeah, exactly.
No,
Uh
like I have clients,
damn.
that sometimes deal with like, their physical appearance and like how they feel
Hmm.
about themselves and all this kind of stuff. And I know for me that I am craving authenticity like more
Yeah.
than ever. And the imperfections in things are so much more attractive to me than
Mhm.
the fake expression of perfection. And so, like, I just, there's so many people out there like using filters or just not expressing themselves, not showing themselves to the world. And I'm here to let y'all know that, like, we want that authenticity. We want that imperfection. We want that weird gap in your teeth. Like, we want that, like,
Yeah.
it's so it's such a unique expression. It's so pure. You don't need to be like everybody else. The universe is begging you to do it differently.
Yeah, this like it hits so deep for me. It reminds me not only when I was younger did I just intuitively feel this. Like I just wanted to be myself, authentic, weird, wild, whatever, create, play. Naturally, I think a lot of us feel that way in our own way. And then even with spiritual awakening and just my journey over the last 10 years, it's kind of felt like I almost lost my connection to that sometimes, and I started to make it wrong. And there was some kind of perfect or whatever, which again doesn't exist because that's just your version of an ideal that
The
usually has
perfect is in
fear.
the imperfect.
Yeah, it's what's natural. I like that word better, authentic,
Yeah.
right? And I'm returning to restoring to reclaiming my own just humanity because for a while I was so disconnected from the basics of what makes me happy, what makes me human, what makes me feel
Yeah.
healthy and connected. And I got really wrapped up in all of the some call it the new age, whatever, but I think it's really just fear. Fear and lack of connection and safety when we are opening to these new ways of being. If you don't have community, it can be a little disorienting, a lot
Yeah.
disorienting. Um, and it is truly just so important to find your authenticity to come back. And that's why I love your energy too. It's reminding me this whole conversation is to have more fun and to play. And I'm starting to make videos and do things that I've always wanted to do that just make me happy. Coming back to like my Disney roots, just different things that
Yes,
make me
absolutely.
happy just to play. And I also can show up and share a video talking about energy and healing and I can do podcasts and I can do all the things. It's
It took me a long
multidimensional.
time. It took me a long time to be okay with, like, oh, I can't be a rapper and a psychic. Like, why
Yeah.
not? Like, what the
Right?
like, why? Actually, that's the
Exactly.
dopest thing ever. Like, what the fuck? Like,
I was
and
just thinking about this.
it's just like, it is so crazy. I
Yeah.
can't. It's like, yes, you can,
Yeah.
and you can decide at any point to not do it, and you also don't have to say,
Yes.
I'm never going to do something again. You can just put it away for a while. There's no rules, like, and like, one of the things I'm really passionate about is, um my brother and I are trying to make like a new kind of like culture within music,
Hmm.
where, like, the music industry, like so many other industries, has kind of really pushed out the artist, so the artist doesn't make a lot of money. Now, of course, the top echelon, they do, but, like, I mean, I had like 100,000 streams on my 3 albums over the last 6 months or whatever, and I made like $50. You know what I mean? Like, you make no money. It's like point zero
Yeah.
zero four
So
cents a
dumb.
stream. It's insane. So,
No.
and the way it used to be is that, you would buy an entire body of work if you liked a song. And nowadays it's like, oh, I'll pay this artist like a third of a penny, and then I'll go listen to this song, pay them a third of a penny, and it's like kind of just like really disconnected. And so what my brother and I want to do is kind of start this new culture where the music is free, but there's other art and other kind of like, let's say like a comic book that goes with the album, and you purchase the comic book, the music is free. And then, like, also kind of creating like a virtual world, for people to interact with the music and the different art that goes with the music, different artists, but also kind of like enticing them through the virtual world to come into the
Hmm.
physical world and go to shows and go to pop-up events, and bring yourself back into the community and connect again. So,
Hmm.
just this idea of everything has become so virtual and so digitized, which is it's a good thing, but it's kind of making us, disconnected from things. So we want to kind of harness that idea of the virtual and digital world to force people back into the physical world, and to like kind of force people to interact with the art again, not just like listen to music and that's all I do, and then, like, kind of like make it a whole culture again. And I think that that's, it's a reflection of what the entire kind of collective consciousness is going through right now. Because if you've noticed, there have been like no kind of like physical technological advances. There's been a few, but not as many as there's been digital advances, the technologies and the things that can really advance us and really bring peace on earth and free energy and this kind of stuff. And I'm really passionate about all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's why people love art and music is for connection. So I think creating new spaces for more connection is a beautiful thing to create and will definitely resonate with many people.
Yeah.
And I just love this conversation too, especially when you said, of course I can be a rapper and a psychic. Because I literally said that to myself as I was getting ready. I'm like, but I don't think I've ever seen a pop star also be like an energetics coach and and I was like, I feel so uncomfortable being both because I've never seen it. And I feel
Yes,
I
which is
have the
why you have to do it.
I know, and I feel like I have this perception that if you're like a big star per se, or a lot of people know you, that you can't bring like spirituality and mysticism and all these things into it because then you're gonna like people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're crazy." But again, it's like, well, whatever.
Then
If you're
you
being
realize it
authentic,
actually is the same world. It actually is the
I
same
know,
people. That's what's trippy, right? Like
I
when I
know,
woke up
yeah,
to it, I was like, oh, people who really like art are usually tend to be more spiritual.
yeah.
So what the fuck am I
Crazy
doing trying
that
to fight it? Like,
it's
like
crazy that
crazy.
those two worlds felt like two worlds to me for like forever. That's why I
Yeah.
created the bridge. I'm like, how do I bring these together? Because I can't choose one or the other. Such a crazy question to have. Like,
Well, I'll tell you too that like think of it like this. So if we go back to shamanism and like when we were tribal, right?
yeah.
Um, the shamans would usually be the person who nowadays would be your schizophrenic, but
Hmm.
the medicine men of the tribe were like, oh, this kid's seeing stuff. This is going to be the next shaman of the tribe. So they would take him under his
Right.
wing. They help him with
Yeah.
psychedelics, help him through their visions, and then they would express their visions through song, dance, and painting.
Oh,
This
my
is where
dream.
art
My
this is
dream.
where it comes from, because
Yeah.
again, they couldn't just go up to their
Yeah.
tribal people and be like, you're God. They couldn't do that. Not everybody's ready to receive that message, so they would make it in painting. They would make a song about it that would get passed through generations, so that 5 generations from now we'll hear the lyrics and be like, oh my god, they're saying we're God. Oh, I get it now, right? And it's like and again, so it's like every artist is a shaman, believe it or not,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we're doing the inner work to go through the inner hell to bring
Mhm.
out that elixir, that golden nugget to share with the collective.
Yes, and I think again bringing it back to joy, that whole process for me, because I when I think about being a singer, being an artist, being an actor, I genuinely cannot do it unless the purpose for it is joy.
Yes.
I can't do it to be successful for other people for like any reason other than it brings me joy and I want this planet to feel joy and I want to connect people through joy. That's the only reason. It's the only way my spirit will let me do it.
And you
And I
figured
love
out
that.
something that a lot of people haven't figured out, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
There is no goal. The goal with you made it.
Yeah.
You are. That's the
You're
goal. Now do it.
whatever you want to do. And
Yeah.
I think I've said this multiple times on the podcast, but I will keep saying it that our purpose is all the same. It's our journey of mastery of self, it's awakening, it's authenticity, but then your bliss is just how you're inspired to create and express and share who you are. And that's it.
Yes.
Like you are a
Bliss and
human here.
bliss and happiness are a frequency that literally elevates you, makes you lighter, makes you less dense, lets you
Mm-hmm.
elevate, right? So you get a greater level of perspective, and all that
Mm-hmm.
other stuff is going to bring you down and make you more dense. We still need it because if we only had bliss, there would be nothing to experience. There'd be no duality. There'd be no contrast.
Right.
And even, too much happiness can be bad for the lungs, can be bad for the heart. Little thing
Oh
of
yeah.
too much dopamine. We've known this since the beginning of time. There has to be a balance, but it's like people think that it's something that is like a hard thing that needs to be accomplished. It's not hard. It's not easy, but it's not hard. It just
Mm-hmm.
is. And when you can kind of accept things, let go of things, then you're connected to everything without this attachment of like,
Mm-hmm.
how is it going to go? And I'm there, and so I can't be there. So who's this and why is that? I'm like, nah, just when you're attached to nothing, connected to everything.
Yeah, and when you are authentic in that and all that you do, those who are meant to resonate or be inspired will. You don't have to reinvent the wheel and control everything, like just exist, you know?
Yes.
What a freeing, beautiful thing. That five energy of mine is very excited about that.
So
Uh,
beautiful.
so freeing. Well, I mean, I feel like this is a great note to just kind of end on. This was such a journey that I'm so grateful for. Is there anything else that you feel activated by you want to say right now before we kind of close
Yes.
out? Yeah.
I just want everyone to remember that you are the most powerful thing in all of existence. You could have been anything, and in fact, you have been, but yet, of all the infinite things, you chose to incarnate as you. It's literally like it must be very special, must be
Hmm.
very important, must have a purpose because of all the things you chose to be you. So, what you gonna do with it?
I love that. That's amazing. Ah, perfect. Like our little double mission card here.
Yes.
Serve the world by being you. So on theme. Well, to close us out, I want to ask you the final question that I always ask everybody, and maybe that was your answer, but maybe there's another kind of version of answer that you want to share. And it's just if you are the creator of your reality and you can create the world that you want to see, what would you want to share with the world right now if there was a broadcast out to absolutely everybody from your unique experience?
That everything matters and nothing matters, and you get to decide.
So good. So good. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Well, thank you so much for all of that. And can you tell everybody how to connect with you, how to
Sure.
find your music, how to work with you, anything that you
Yeah.
want to share?
Yeah, you just got to look up Optimistic Banks, and the Mystic is with a Y, Optimistic Banks. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, anywhere. So just look me up. I'm offering, I do one-on-one sessions for mystic activation, psychic readings, and I also do free consultations for that. So if anybody wants to reach out with me, just find me on my socials.
Amazing. Yeah, definitely follow him. I love the content always. It'll bring a lot of light and truth and just love to your day. So I highly recommend.
Thank you.
I'm actually going to dive into your music more now too because I haven't done that. So I'm looking forward to it.
If you like conscious hip hop, you're into spiritualism and you want some hidden messages, it's all in there for you.
That'll be so cool. Well, I value art so much, so it's an honor. And it's been an honor to have
Excellent.
you on the bridge. So
Thank
thank
you
you so
so
much
much.
for
I
being
appreciate
here.
it.
So grateful, so excited for people to receive this magic. And we'll see you guys where we see ya. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of The Bridge. You are so valued and appreciated here, and I hope it helped bring light, love, clarity, and healing to your journey of remembering who you are. If you'd like to share feedback, have questions, want to collaborate, or request for a specific guest or episode topic, you can email us at the email below. To connect with us on socials or to work with me one-on-one, you can head to the social medias in the description below. If you'd like to donate to support our mission to share love, peace, and unity on this planet, you will find a link for that as well. You can always reach out via email to ask us how you can support what we are currently doing in the world. Remember, together we are better and truly can do so much. Now it's that time. Go live this new wisdom you received here in your life. Share it, integrate it, pass it on. Your ripples are powerful and needed, and you have a unique way of sharing and being that only you can be. As always, take what resonates for you and leave the rest. You are sovereign. You are the magic wand. You are the bridge to experiencing the world that you want. You are the conductor of your destiny. See it, choose it, speak it, feel it, believe it, know it, and go be it. Remember, it always starts with you. The universe is always on your side, and you are infinite. One love, and we'll see you in the next one. I have my little starseed oracle here right now too, actually. I kind of just
Cool.
want to pull a little card. Ooh, okay, double mission, Lightworker Starseed, serve the world by being you. I love it.
Yeah, that's like pretty much my whole mission here is to kind of help people activate, reactivate their creative expression. And
Hmm.
because I think that that's for me, I'm a life path 3 in numerology, which represents
Uh,
creativity.
yes.
And so, like, I really have this strong urge to help people unlock it because, we've been like kind of brainwashed, kind of dumbed down by society to not be creators, but to be workers, that type
Yeah.
of stuff. And so many of us have just lost it. We've
Yeah.
lost the reason to be excited to wake up every day. And we're discovering that the external validation, it doesn't last.
Mm,
Like you made a good paycheck, you paid your bills, you're a good mother, a good father, a good whatever. It feels great, but it's like short boosts of dopamine. It's not sustainable, and the infinite sustainable energy comes from creating, and then you
mm-hmm.
create your reality through that process.
Yeah. That's
Take the power
exactly
back.
it. I love how you say things. I love how you share. So this is going to be magical. And that's exactly why I created the podcast too, The Bridge. It means so many things, but you are that vessel of creation and that sustainable energy, you're right, that fulfillment only comes from creating in my experience too. So, and I'm a challenge number 3. So that's been really difficult for me throughout my life.
Yeah,
Um,
that's also my challenge.
is
Not
it?
currently. I'm not currently, but my first 33 years was 3. And
Interesting.
then I had a
Yeah.
near death experience at the age of 33. Believe it or not, right now I have zero challenge.
I love that. I believe
Yeah.
you. 100%. 100%. I'm like real close to that. I'm very close. I'm very different than I used to be, of course,
Yeah.
but it's cool that you have it as your life path number. I don't even know if I'm a numerologist, so I don't know if I've done a reading for someone with a 3 path. So
Oh, I
it checks
attract a lot
out.
of threes, and 33s is the number that follows me, and I attract those life paths like crazy.
Oh, cool. Okay. I want to get into that bubble of people for sure.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. They're the guy who woke me up, and then the guy who kind of helped me when I was losing my mind, kind of put it all back together. They're both 33s. And just
Mm,
every time in my life, ever since I've awakened, I awakened at the age of 33 after a near death experience, but like since then it was like, I figured I was born at 2:33 a.m. Like my
mm.
brother and I are 2 years and 9 months apart, which is 33 months. Like my mom
Oh,
was 33 when she had me. Like all the addresses always have the 33 in it. Like it's
yeah,
just been constantly, constantly, constantly following me. It's amazing to
right.
be aware of it.
Yeah, as soon as you become aware, it's everywhere. Track it
Hmm.
back. I did that too. I went back to all my childhood addresses and I was like, holy crap, everything is it's a
It's
simulation.
so beyond when you get in, and even the etymology of things, and oh my
Yeah.
God, you just it's endless rabbit holes of synchronicity for
Mm-hmm.
those that have the eyes that see,
Mm-hmm. It's so fun. It's endlessly fun.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. I'm a 5 life path, so
Oh, cool.
also checks out. Yeah.
Hmm.
Love to travel all over the cosmos and all over the world and just express and very, very high energy. I've had to learn to ground myself.
Yeah,
So,
that's the challenge of the 5. You're like the,
yeah.
but I have to, but I can't, but I need,
Yeah.
it's like I think of 5s as like you crave that stability of the 4, but like,
Yeah.
or like you need it and you have
Yeah.
it, but like you also crave adventure and like family of the 6, right? And
Yeah.
like you're like this, which is such a cool energy to embody here in your avatar, I think, because
Yeah.
I feel like we're in a lot of 5 energy as a collective right now.
I would agree with that. Funny enough, my power number is actually a 4, so it really shows you how much I need the grounding. And then the bridge is number 6 in numerology, so
Yeah.
there you go.
Uh-huh.
It's
I
so
love that.
beautiful. Yeah. And I'm a 7 soul number. What's your soul? Do you know?
Yes, dude, my soul, so all of my name numerology is 9, 9, and 9.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So 9 is the most prevalent number in my numerology, then 3, then 8.
Ooh, I like that. Eight's my personality.
Oh, okay.
I love 8. Yeah.
9 is my personality, 9 is my soul, and 9 is what's the other one?
Mind?
It's the 3 that it gives you with the name numerology. Forgot. It's like soul urge, destiny, and personality. That's
Mm.
what it is. So all 3 of
Okay.
those with me are 9s.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, well, nine's a big energy, and we're in a 9 year, so I'm sure it's been a big year for you.
Yeah, yeah. My mom's also a 9, and my dad's a 1, which I think is just ironic as
My
fuck.
dad's a 1 too. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Isn't it crazy when you start learning your family's numbers and then, energetically you just see all the patterns?
yeah.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, one of the craziest synchronicities that happened with me with numerology is I was doing the life paths of everybody that lives in my house, and it matches to the zip code of the house. Like my
Stop.
mom's a 9, my dad's a 1, I'm a 3, my brother's a 2, and the other person we live with is a 5. And that's
Oh my gosh.
91325 is the zip code. And I was like, all right, what the fuck? I remember telling my dad that, and my dad's like not on any of this stuff. And
Yeah.
he was like, you know, it's weird, Banks. A week before we bought this house, they changed the zip code.
No way.
So it's like,
I'm not
just,
even surprised. It's of
yeah.
course. Of course.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And now I'm like, I want to go check our zip codes and stuff.
Yeah,
That's
it's fun.
so funny. Wow. I love this should be like a BTS combo. I'll just plop it at the end of the, the podcast for the numerology geeks out there. Yeah, it's amazing.